No, for sure. And that's the thing. I mean, look, I feel like if we were to compare the losing streaks, for me, I don't think the losses have been like as bad as last year. But like for like example, like last night's game, you played a good 40 minutes. Okay. You're going up against a team that has struggled in recent years. Well, the year before that, I should say. In the Islanders, they've been a good third period team. And in 22 seconds, you just forget to play hockey and the game's over. And this isn't the first time this has happened. There's been
No.
different things in each game where it's either led to a goal or something like that. I mean, at least for me, like when I notice, like Bill, I'm not sure if you know this, but I do game recap videos, and I mention this in every video that like there's always that like mind fart that comes, and they just forget how to play hockey for maybe 30 seconds. And that example is the second game in Columbus a couple weeks ago, that the 5-4 overtime loss. Just a change, and then the opening goal of that game is every player goes off the ice for a change, and Columbus comes down and scores. And it's like last night you have again turnovers. Every goal against the Penguins on Black Friday was either a turnover, a missed stick in front, and this is the stuff that John Tortorella was brought in here to change. It's not as much of like the off ice stuff, and that stuff is different. I think he has changed that. And it's not, obviously you see it in the pictures, the videos, all that stuff, the working out and all that different stuff of what they've been doing, being the most conditioned team. But on ice, they're still having the same issues they have been the last 2 years.
Yeah, they're fundamentally, it's almost impressive. These guys are in the
Yeah.
NHL without, like, we've heard the stories of them having to practice line changes, and
Yeah.
no coaches, every coach is like, I've never had to do such a thing at this level. Like,
Mhm.
this is something we should have down. And as you pointed, it continues to be a problem. Like
Right.
5 years later, they're just so fundamentally flawed. It's almost shocking. Some of these guys are like, what could they be if they knew how to play? It's like a bunch of Jordan Mailatas. Like, hey, look at this guy. Imagine if he played football like his
Right.
whole life. You
Right.
get that impression from some of these dudes. Like, man, they're pretty good. If they actually knew what they were doing, they'd be decent.
Right.
It's very frustrating, this team. I think for the most part, they are harder to play against in the idea that they're not rolling over and dying the way
Right.
they have the last couple of years. And there are a lot of times, they dump the puck in, the other team breaks out, got puck carrier gets his head up. Yeah, he's facing 5 Flyer sweaters. He's able to get by them because they're not very good players. But
Mhm.
just in that idea of being hard to play against, you have to beat 5 guys.
Right. The
Yeah,
overall
they are.
structure has
They,
been much better.
yeah, they have a little bit more of that, but it's still, at this point, tell me a team that could live without like their 1C, their best couple of wingers. Like, they're at a point now where it's just difficult to compete with how few established NHL guys they have.
Right.
But the problems remain the same. Like,
Right.
they'd have a better record, but would we be impressed with them if all these dudes were healthy? No, they'd be a bubble
Mhm.
playoff team.